So my name is Ania Baska. I'm Canadian and Mexican. Originally, I'm from Poland and finished university structural engineering in Poland. And then I work as an engineer in Canada, and then I got real estate license and was with Remax for 30 years. And after that, I came to Mexico, where I really like to live here permanently. And I joined condo La Costa, which is excellent company, very well organized, with a lot of education and guidance, which is really premium, especially for a person who doesn't speak Spanish. So we decided, with my partner, we decided to buy a condo in Narval, North Buceria, right on the ocean, and we really like to live there. But then we found about Bolongo, which is close to Punta de Mita, and it's huge resort, so we moved there. So I met a friend long time ago. She was originally from Puerto Vallarta, and so I came here many times to visit her, and of course she lived in Canada, so we socialized in Canada, and she showed me all the area. And the most important for us was that you've got a lot of direct flights from Toronto to Puerto Vallarta, which is very convenient and not as expensive as in some other part of Mexico. That was first thing, and second thing, you've got you don't really have any bad weather during 6 months. There are no rains. There are very few earthquakes or hurricanes. So that's what we like too. But for 6 months you can live with no problems. And what occurred to us that we live with open windows. I remember when I first went to her house, and she had no windows in the house. She had a house directly in Puerto Vallarta and no windows. But when we are here for 6 months, we don't really close any windows, and we keep all our furniture outside with no worry that anything can happen to them. No, surprisingly, we don't have any problem with bats. Some, but not really. Nothing to be really concerned. Even in Bolongo, which like Narval is an open area, so bugs don't like that. But Narval is more greenery, more like bush. But still, it's very few bugs. Maybe some birds which can fly through. In fact, we moved. We came here. We bought during pandemic, and then we applied for Mexican citizenship right away. Mexican permanent residency right away, and it was really surprising for us how well Mexican consulate was organized. Even in Toronto, we were very well guided. Everything was spelled out what to do, so we didn't need to really hire any help, even with no knowledge of Spanish again, which was really premium. Even some of our friends said, no, you have to ask somebody to help you. And Jan spent, of course, a lot of time to translate stuff and to talk to people. But overall, the whole process of getting permanent residence and driving license was very easy, which I really have to commend Mexican for. More Jan, because I was busy getting my license approved here, so I have to go through the courses. So he was the one who was looking after the logistics of getting all the legal stuff done. So even in Toronto, I specialize in condominium. So I know the condominium rules, condominium board, condominium management very well. We live in luxurious condominium in Toronto, So it was a little bit surprising at the beginning. They were rules, but if you ask somebody if they know those rules, they didn't know really specific. And all business is based on rules. Like you have to know the rule if you can have a pet, if you can have a party, if you can eat in your lounge chair, a lot of other rules which eventually they were established. And I'm talking about Narval because that was brand new condominium. We were almost first people to move in, so there were a lot of questions. But overall, and of course, like with new development, there are a lot of problems in the beginning. Like they had to be, a lot of correction have to be done, and that was challenging. Although I've never lived in a new condo, I own a lot of new condos, but overall, everything was the management was very helpful and guided us through all the difficulties and tried to help as much as they could when there was a problem. Now we live in Bolongo, and all of Bolongo's rules are established. That's like a condominium, huge resort, and it's already 6 years.
It's not resort. It's condominium.
It's condominium development. Like a lot of owners buy in Bolongo as an investment. So of course we've got a lot of rentals. For owners who don't rent, they have problem with that because of course their space is taken and they don't feel as comfortable as they are if nobody is there, no renters are there. Even if you live there permanently, then and you want your investment to appreciate, then all the aspect of the living there, renting there, has to be adjusted to everybody's needs. Like one person cannot say, I want this, the other one that, but all rules should address all the needs. If you say simple issue like pets, pets are not allowed because we don't want pets for renters, then you lose a lot of business. And if you lose a lot of business, then to rent, because some people, that's their income, that's their permanent income, so then they have to rent for less. And if they rent for less, then whole value of the unit goes down because people will buy as an investment and they will look at how much money that investment brings. That's how you price investment. So of course people who rent, they respect all the amenities or accommodation as much as the owners, but still, so they have to be rules for renters too, how to make them to follow the rules which would bring some value to the property instead of damages. First of all, if you get in every deed, there are condominium rules. So before we put property on the market, the deed and check the rules. If it's all the condominium, then of course you have to get this condominium documents because rules can change in a time. Before I list the property, then I make sure that I know what is in the area. And of course, Flex MLS has excellent statistics which you can source and establish the value. But the true value you establish based on your own knowledge. So you have to get yourself involved and you have to attend as many open houses and talk to as many neighbors and people. Establish the value of condominium, even house or whatever property. That's your success. Because if the value is proper, then it's more likely you will sell. Or no minor gym, because everybody loves gyms now, but people sometimes don't understand that 5 years old cannot go there because they are weights, it's in fact dangerous in gyms. So the rules also come from the experience. Experienced property management, that they will know that what rules they should do. And of course, sometimes they come up with a rule which is not really even visible to follow. So the rule is there, but then it's changed based on that experience and living there. Like I've visited so many times, so and I have a lot of Mexican friends, so that was no any surprise. What was really very pleasant. And I've been to a lot of other islands, most of them almost. But in fact, when you go anywhere, you go to restaurant, you use any store, any services, you are welcome as much as Mexicans. And it looks like they appreciate that you bring your business, which is very important because it's like in a lot of countries which are not as advanced as Mexico, you feel like people are begging on the street or trying to be very unhappy that you're there because you're taking something from them, which is not true. And I think Mexicans understand that a lot of wealth and advance the people from Canada or States or South America even brought here. So everybody got better life. We brought a lot of people here and a lot of and when we come here and we use all the services too. Like, in some countries, if you don't live there, they cut you off, because they want your retirement money to spend in the country, not outside. Which is, when we live here, we spend a lot of money because especially in the beginning, we had to buy everything, like all the furniture, all accessories, so that's also boom Mexican economy, which I think a lot of Mexican people understand that, which is so much. And to me, it's so premium. And when anybody asks me, I also emphasize that. But here you live like at home, and everybody welcome you like you are on their own. Of course, we should learn Spanish, but in certain age, it's really difficult. So that's another thing. But a lot of, I would say, 70% of Mexican in service industry speaks English, and which is very primitive. First, that they should really come and stay in a couple of places and see what is important to them. Because sometimes they, I want to, for me, the most important was to live on the ocean, directly on the ocean, because we love to swim in the ocean, not swimming pools. But for some people, maybe that's not important. So they can save a lot of money to move to a couple of blocks away and have much better accommodation for much less. And also, if I know that it is important to have access to medical help, which is in fact, when I was here a number of years ago for the tour, Mexican brought us here to show us, as a realtors, to show us and to promote Mexico. First they pointed out of a hospital, of the medical centers, which was for older people is very important. And of course, shopping is important too. So people don't want to be inconvenienced to drive far away. So come at least 2-3 times, try different part of area, and see what is really important for you, where you want to retire. Because basically it's different when you come for 2-3 weeks and different when you come for 6 months or permanently. No, that for me was a very big step to finish the license here, although I have a lot of experience. But of course a lot of rules are different, a lot of customs are different. So, but Coldwell Banker, like I said, has a lot of educational lectures, materials. So with any question, I was able to function as full-time with lots of experience realtor.